Well, good afternoon, everybody, and it's a great pleasure indeed today to have with us Luke Bramich. Luke is the coach of the club for the second season in a row. Welcome, Luke.
Thanks, Lee.
You're comfortable sitting back there in the lounge chair? Yeah.
Yes, mate. My armchair is very supportive. My back, fantastic. This is the den, mate. The den with the zooms.
And in the background is Nita Soothe. That's something you're associated with?
Yeah, this is my company. This is my personal training, allied health business.
Yeah.
So she's up in the background for all the Zoom work that we do at the moment, all the online training, the meetings that we have. Yeah.
And that's the favourite bat?
This is the new Gem bat, the new sponsor. Give them a bit of a kick. It's Nitin Chowdhury, who just opened up actually just around the road from PCO.
Right.
He's got a new bat store, and he's looking to give Preston 25% off all their gear at the moment. So yeah, any Preston players or associated players with Preston, jump into his store or hit us up, and we'll send you down there. But yeah, he's looking to give us a good discount. So that's Gem and Nitin Chowdhury.
Oh, fantastic! And they're good bats, obviously.
Well, so far, I mean, I haven't had an issue with it. Good middle. If you know how to find the middle, you got no issue. But depends how you're traveling through the season, I guess.
That's right.
But, yeah.
Well, let's start with your background, Luke. Your journey as a youngster into cricket. Where did you play your early days?
I began my cricketing at Lower Plenty Cricket Club. Actually, I was 11 years old, and my old man put me into some cricket. Lower Plenty Cricket Club was struggling at the time for numbers, and I believe at the time you needed a junior club to make sure the seniors could keep running. And what had happened was Lower Plenty, they were trying to round up numbers. So all the kind of fathers around the club were saying, "Wow, let's get our young blokes in there and fill a side." I was probably about 15, 20 kilos overweight at the time, but a young 11-year-old kid that had a bit of weight on him, it was good for me, just to be out mingling and having a bit of a run around, making some friends, and then I kind of dragged a few mates from primary school down there as well. But I think in the end, we merged with North Melbourne Wanderers as an under-12s. So we were called the Lower Plenty North Melbourne Wanderers at the time. And I was about 11 years old, and by the name of Tony Mash, the Mash brothers in the DVCA, obviously quite renowned, but Tony nicknamed me brother. And if anyone knows Tony Mash, his nickname was Wobble. And at the time, he thought it was quite amusing because I was such a big kid. And so he put two and two together, and he called me brother, and people started calling me brother, and it was quite a bit of a laugh. And I think because I was such a big kid playing cricket, such a happy kid, to be out and about, the boys, we'd have a laugh where it went from brother to then sandwich, because I was big and it rhymed with Bramich. And sandwich then went to Subway, because Subway had sandwiches, and then it went to ham and cheese. So I was running around, or I'd be batting or coming into bowl, and you hear, "Come on, ham and cheese," and you just think, where does that come from? So yeah, there's quite a few little nicknames in there that probably people don't know about. But yeah, you can go as deep as you like into that one. But put simply, quite a big kid, quite a tubby kid that just loved cricket at the age of 11 when I got into it. Lower Plenty Cricket Club.
Right. So you played through the juniors there and progressed into the seniors, or did you?
I did, yeah. So ended up playing under 12s, under 14s, under 16s. I think it was the last year. No, it was the first year of 16s or the last year of under 14s, where Lower Plenty created a father-son grade, and they were acknowledged in the DVCA for that. I think it was the first kind of club to really push father-son. So I got a bit of a delve into senior cricket. Still had quite a bit of weight on me. Hadn't hit that point yet where it was a turning point, but once again, if I could play in the morning and play in the afternoon, I just loved it. Cricket was great for me. And then, yeah, from I think it was last year under 16s, ended up, I think, playing first 11 cricket in Barclay Reserve under Brent Zarafa. He was captaining the first 11 at the time. And yeah, it's a really good club to be around. It was a very much a family club. And yeah, I mean, as a young kid playing cricket, you couldn't ask for anything better. There was plenty of support and great people around, and likewise at Preston now. So,
how did you get to Preston?
Well, I finished up, I would have been about 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And 18, 19. And a guy by the name of Steve Atkins, Lowell Plenty had picked up a batting coach and brought him in and said, how can you develop our young players? So he ran a bit of a program. And so from Steve Atkins running a bit of a batting cricketing program, he was affiliated with North Melbourne at the time. And that was before they were North Melbourne Greenvale. And what had happened was he seen a couple of people, and North Melbourne were looking to recruit a few players. And they asked me to come down to the Liam Pickering Emerging Players Squad. So that was like their development. So they could kind of pick their players from that, say, okay, who's going to come down? And so at the time, you've got to talk to your leaders around you and your mentors. And, there's quite a few that didn't agree with me going down the line and having a crack. But I decided after talking to a few people and, as a 19-year-old kid wanting to go down the line and give it a red hot crack, I thought there's no better time. So what I did was I went down the line, went down to North Melbourne, was picked up with their Liam Pickering Emerging Players Squad, played 2 years down there. And after the 2 years, I found it quite difficult in regards to, I wouldn't say that I was performing as much as I'd want to, didn't do enough. And because of that, I just stopped enjoying my cricket. There's lots of, at the time, lots of people that are kind of pointing the finger saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, but there wasn't necessarily a lot of help around how to do it. So I guess I learned a lot about myself, but then what people do need when they go down the line, because I'm very much a people person. So instead of, being told, do this, it's like, well, how? What do I need to do? And so a lot of my coaching, that's where that comes from. But in regards to that, went down the line, went down to North Melbourne. After 2 years, I didn't enjoy it, and I thought, okay, I want to stay on turf. I don't want to go back to Syntho. I do enjoy turf cricket. So I knew Niall Smith down at Preston. I knew Sam Staples, who was at Preston at the time. This is going back now, I think 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I knew Brent Ryan, who was at the club as well. And so I thought, I'll come down because I don't know any other turf clubs, anyone else at turf clubs. And I'm a people person, and I like to, I'm very much a family man as well. Like I like to be able to have a drink and socialise. It's not just about the cricket. So I thought, okay, if I know someone, it's going to make that transition a little bit easier. And so I went down and had a training session down at Preston. And Sean Brown was the head coach at the time. I tell you, going from one environment to another where you're getting told, do this, and then coming to a new environment where this is how you do it, and the people around you, the social connections, there was just a click where I reinvented myself as a cricketer and started to enjoy the game. Met a guy called Michael Saketa at the time, who was at the club, and Daniel Fox, and become really, really close with them before meeting pretty much my new best mates who are still at the club now in, Alex Lewis, Michael Hayes, Matt Staples. I've known Matt Staples is a guy that I actually played junior cricket with as well down at Lowell Plenty. And I think he soon come across, because obviously Sammy was there as well. And, Kyle Walsh, one of my best mates now. So a lot of the guys at the club now are my best mates, but purely because it's such a great environment. And if there's any young cricketer that wants to either reinvent themselves or get in a line, it's like we're here with open arms,
Yes.
So yeah, that was pretty much the realm and how I got to Preston. Timmy Jessel was, I remember, the selector at the time. I think they called him the chairman of selectors, and all the email chains were coming through him. So I was talking to him, and then I arrived at training. And so interesting, like you look back now, reminiscing about how I rocked up to one of the indoor sessions down at Sean Brown's grid coaching, feeling so awkward, but yet at the end of the session, feeling so involved. Within the space of 2 hours going, I know one person, to then knowing, geez, I know just about everyone here at the moment. And I'd never really had that before. So yeah, that was pretty much the pathway. And still at the club now. Yeah.
Fantastic, and glad you had that experience. Otherwise, we wouldn't have you. So you saw the culture of the club almost straight away. Fantastic culture. It's been around a long time, and from what I can see, is only getting better. So tell us about your. You're primarily a batter. Yeah,
I am.
Yeah, you like batting in the middle order or high up? What's your preference?
It's a good question, that one. To be honest, I do like the ball to come on as a batsman. I tend to use a lot of the pace and timing of the ball, if anything. But I mean, I've batted just about anywhere from 1 to 6.
Right.
Last year, I think I ended up, batting at 5 between the semi and the grand final, and it was a bit like it wasn't awkward. I just felt like an experienced cricketer, knowing how to play the game, the situation they were in. So I guess, yeah, I mean, every innings that you bat, you learn more and more about yourself. And I think at the present time that I'm in now as well, is that I know enough about the game to be able to try and evolve in the position and play the role that I'm given. So anywhere from 1 to 6. But I definitely do like the ball coming on, if anything, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you bat a few times last year, and you got a nice variety of shots all around the ground. So particularly, is it the cut behind point that seems to be that favourite?
The famous cut shot. Yeah. The director of cricket, Alex Lewis, isn't a fan of my cut shot. He thinks I play it far too often. But I don't know. I feel like my cut shot is a shot, one of mine, that as soon as I play it, I'm on. I feel like everyone's kind of got that thing where it's like, yeah, I'm in my groove today. Yeah. Feed me that early. I'm happy to play that nice and early. That's fine.
Well, you've played a lot of games in the first, so you're pretty experienced, even for a guy your age. I mean, 70 odd games in the ones. When you look back, what's the highlight of those 70 odd games in the ones?
The highlight. This is going to be an interesting one. In the first 11, I think, obviously I've been at the club 11 to 12 years, and the club, there was a stage where they were kind of high up in the Brownie days, and then the Chuck days, and they went through like this developing era. And I wouldn't say one highlight as such, but the transition of the way the club has moved through, bringing some young kids through and then watching them develop under, some serious leaders. And I would definitely say the transition of the club in regards to the way that it's moved away from your hard hitting to more of a technical, social feeling of people being involved. I would say, I can't really pinpoint one time. I'd love to say that, the era of Doggy Brown was one that you're probably never going to get again. To then, Brendan Barry's era after him taking over, you're never going to get the type of Brendan Barry again. And so all these different leaders, I guess, they all kind of had their own little way of taking the club to where they wanted to take it. But the highlight in my eyes would be to where we've come to today because of the transition and the way that we've done it, the process of the younger kids coming through and the developmental processes with our academy, and then giving guys a go, you know, like looking at Dan Gregory. For one, that Dan Gregory, I mean, yeah, I would say he's a massive highlight. Watching a kid come through the ranks to then watching him make a senior first 11 100, that was incredible. You know, one year he finished up in the twos and then had an extraordinary pre-season and comes out round 1 or round 2 and knocks up a senior ton opening the batting. And you just sit there and kind of go, we'd never know if we didn't give this guy a chance. Yeah. So I guess rewarding those for hard work and then saying, well, you've shown us the hard work. Let's see what you can do. And I'm all about that. So, yeah, the highlight for me would be the entire process of the developmental era coming through to then where we are now, and watching Michael Hayes take over the first 11 2 years ago. And, you know, first year, not so much struggling, but getting a feel for the way that the tempo of the first 11 worked, to then, you know, him getting a real hold of it and then managing to put this squad together last year and play finals. So, yeah, that would be the highlight for me, is that entire process, to be honest. It's one to be remembered, that's for sure.